to the Dugs. It's game 3 in the semifinal between deliberately offensive and the weak prescriptions. The offensive are down in the series 0-2, but it was nothing but smiles on the bus today. We are back in Colorado where the air is thin and the home runs are chunky. Dave Brain is familiar with the home run. Deliberately offensive is the team full of offensive legends, but during the group stage, Brain was tied for tops in home runs and came in second only to Mel Ott in RBIs. This is his second home run of the postseason so far, putting the Union Jacks up 2. Jacks extend their lead to 4-0, but the question is how many runs are going to be enough in Colorado? Men on second and third with one out in the bottom of the second, and Robin Yount comes up big. That's going to bring Rogers Hornsby and Mel Ott home. It's 4-2. Mike Schmidt at the plate, and that is number 4 in the postseason. Schmidt is just destroying the baseball in the playoffs, and we've got a tie score. Hobie Ferris says, not for long. That is a 2-run bomb, and the Jacks are back up by 2. In the bottom of the third, it's Hank Aaron hitting with the bases loaded and 1 out. That's not going to get the job done. An absolute massive strikeout by Jim McCormick. They're going to need some 2-out magic here with Mike Schmidt coming to the play. No! They're doing it again. If you go back to game 1 of the series, Mike Schmidt had hit 3 straight home runs, then walked, only to be removed from the game for Barry Bonds, who proceeded to strike out. Dude is having a legendary postseason, and Barry walked, excuse me. That brings home a run and deliberately... You know what? I'm not done with this yet. This might be the dumbest decision since Bill Buckner was left in there at first versus his usual defensive replacement, because his coach believed he deserved to be out there for the championship-clinching, curse-breaking final out of the inning. And you know what happened?
Little roller up along first, behind the bag! It gets through Buckner! Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it!
This makes absolutely no sense. That's a Cap Hansen's single scoring 2 and offensive leads by 1. But you know what? You don't need a 1-run lead. You have no pitching staff. You need the kind of crooked numbers that a guy who's hit 4 home runs in 3 games can give you. Top of the 4th and Dave Brain triples here, which absolutely no one is surprised about. 2 score, Union Jacks back in control. Wild pitch and they're up 2. Sac fly by Ed Cogswell, they're up 3. Jimmy Austin with a pinch hit single, they're up 4, and I'm very upset. Alright, we gotta talk about something else. Okay, let's forward to the top of the 6th. Charlie Gehringer is coming into pitch, and we've got a streak alert here. Gehringer's current ERA in the postseason is infinity. He came in game 1 of the series, faced 4 batters, and they all got hits. We'll see if he can record an out here today. Dick Higgum with a dribbler out to third. Close but no cigar, it's an infield single. That's unfortunate. Hobie Ferris? Unless they've given fans a license to out, that's a 2-run home run. Ed Cogswell walks on 4 pitches. Harry Smith walks on more pitches. Bobby Clack, third verse, same as the first 2. Hugh Nickel, that's a single, and that keeps the conga line going. And that'll do it for him as Rod Carew replaces him on the mound. That's 6 additional batters without an out. So without recording an out, Gehringer has given up 7 hits, 8 runs, 2 home runs, and 3 walks. The Union Jacks get an additional 4 runs in the inning, putting them up 9, and that will be sufficient to close out the game with a final... Oh, we're not done? What could we possibly have left? Oh, we have a strikeout alert. This is not a drill, everyone. Outside of Babe Ruth, deliberately offensive has only recorded a single strikeout, but Rod Carew has Hobie Ferris down 0-2, and yes! I am so much happier now. What do we know about Hobie Ferris? He has the lowest on-base percentage of any player in the history of baseball with over 5,000 at-bats. He was suspended for the remainder of a season once for deliberately kicking his teammate in the face. He died of a brain hemorrhage in 1938. And you know what? He'd probably prefer to relive all of that right now rather than be living down this moment. Oh, that almost makes it all worth it. Okay, so let's wrap this one up. Jacks win 18-11 and take a commanding 3-0 lead in the series. I'm going to give the Impact Award to Dave Brain today for his 3-for-5 performance and 5 RBIs. Hobie Ferris arguably had an equally impressive game with 2 home runs, but you know what else he did? He struck out against first baseman Rod Carew. Graphics guy should not have put you in the post-game report. The post-game report is for winners. Robin Yount had a great game, going 4 for 6 with a home run, 3 RBIs, and 2 runs, but the thing I want to keep my eye on is Charlie Gehringer. He's now pitched to 10 hitters in the postseason and has not recorded an out. Will he get an opportunity to get back out there in this series? I'll send it over to Hamish to see if the Jacks can sweep.
Rule Britannia, Britannia rule the waves. Britons never, never, never shall be slaves. Thanks, Johnny, and welcome to Game 4 of this royal parade for the Union Jacks. If they win here, they hoover the series and progress to the Cup Final. Raise a glass of Tennent's, Carling, Peroni, and whatever they drink in Northern Ireland, because this will be a celebration. There is the little matter of the actual matchup though, so let's take a look at the starters. The Kingdom are going with Northampton's Danny Cox, and he'll be trying to stick his kinky boots to deliberately offensive, who are anchored by Babe Ruth. You may think that this is a chance for offensive, given that the Babe was indeed a pitcher as well as a hitter, with almost 100 Major League wins and an ERA under 2.3. However, the Bambino has been more Bambino, no, what are you doing in this tournament, so let's see if this game he turns a corner. No, he doesn't. Bobby Thompson hits a 2-run home run and the Jacks take the lead in the top of the first. Hope Ferris doubles and now that's 3-0. Not only do deliberately offensive need to come back from 3-0 down in the series, they now need to come back from 3-0 down in this game. They did get one back in the bottom of the first, but here we are in the second and Ruth is still struggling. It might be worth reminding everyone how good he was as a pitcher. In 1916 he won 23 games and pitched a 14-inning complete game win in the World Series. So why has he been so utterly dreadful here? Two things come to mind. Either we have proven the legendary Babe Ruth simply wasn't as good as we all thought, or we didn't actually sim George Herman Ruth, and instead we simmed Ruth Herman, noted author on books for troubled teens, and she's firing words of wisdom from the mound instead of fastballs. Well, whoever is on the mound is walking Tom Brown and having a bad school day. A wild pitch puts runners at second and third before Thompson walks, and like the event in 1999 where The Undertaker wrestled Stone Cold in a First Blood match, the bases are fully loaded. A wild pitch makes it 4-1, but that's irrelevant because with one swing of the bat, Higham scores every one, and the Union Jacks are on their way to a series win. To our Brazilian fans, trigger warning, look away now, because the score is 7-1. Unfortunately though, this is Coors Field, and they are facing the best offense ever assembled. Johnny, this is going to take a while. Can we put the video on fast forward for the bottom of the second? Okay, thanks. Here we go. Barry Bonds hits his first home run of the postseason to make the score 7-2. Jimmy Fox also homers, this time with a man on base, so that's 7-4. Quick jump ahead, the bags are full of runners again, and Cap and some singles, and 2 of them score, so it's a 1-run game for Barry Bonds, who is up again as offensive bat around, and he doubles scoring 2, and his team takes an 8-7 lead. Mel Ott scores Barry to make it 9-7 before Jimmy Fox singles home another run to end the scoring in the inning, and leave the score at 10-7 heading into the third. And breathe. Relax. Take a moment from all the scoring to watch Dick Higham, a man who averaged less than 3 stolen bases a season when he was in the majors, bizarrely try to steal home. An odd play given Willie Mays' pitching, and you'd think he'd have scored anyway on the next play. He's out, and is this the Battle of Yorktown moment for the Jacks, where they're starting to think maybe they're not going to win this? Jumping to the bottom of the 5th, the score is 11-9, and Tris Speaker will have order! Order, I tell you! And his order is a home run to extend the lead to 12-9. There was some more scoring, because of course there was with these two teams, but home plate is Speaker's corner right now, and Tris is it. Another home run in the 6th, and it's now 15-11. But remember, if the Union Jacks win this, they move on, so they're not going to give this up without a fight, and they're going to get some help as Frank Robinson is on the mound. This video is already overlong, so it's impossible to list all of Robinson's achievements, but let's note that amongst having 3 teams retire his number and 3 different statues built, this 14-time All-Star has 0 pitching accolades. Tom Brown triples, which will score Hugh Nickel, and then Hope Ferris, who worked as a mechanic after retiring from baseball, throws a wrench into Robinson's plans as he doubles to score 2. Well, there's your problem right there, he says. You don't have a pitcher. That made it 15-14, but we pick it up at 17-14 as offensive adds some insurance. Fox knows an RBI or 5 because he's scored an RBI or 5. and that single makes it 18-14. So top of the ninth, Union Jacks need 4 runs, and it might be difficult because Lou Gehrig is on the mound. Now Lou has gone down in history for a number of things, but often forgotten is he was a pretty good pitcher in college, once striking out 17 in a day. So let's see how this goes. Actually, let's not, it went really badly for a minute for corners, so Gehrig is pulled for A-Rod. On Shark Tank, A-Rod listens to pitches, but now he's delivering them, and Dave Brain thinks he's got a home run, but no, that's going to hold up for a sac fly. 18-15 for Higham, who gets on and the wheel keeps turning for Ferris. That's a double, and it's 18-17. Now, just like Shark Tank's Wake and Bacon, you're watching a wild pitch, and that puts men at second and third. Can George Hall win it all? No, but he can tie the game with a sac fly and send us to a penalty shootout. Or just extra innings. Mickey Mantle's on the mound now, so it's a question of how much the Jacks are going to put up. Tom is browned off though, so there's 1 out. Brain flies out, and Mantle's not really going to do this, is he? He is! He gets Higham to ground out, and sure, he was a 20-time All-Star, 7-time World Series champion, 3-time MVP, but even that wasn't enough for 43 Hall of Fame voters who thought he didn't deserve to get in on the first ballot. Well, if only they could have seen this performance. So can offensive earn the Comet the win? Like a tween girl, we'll get straight to the drama. The bases are loaded, there are 2 outs. It's down to Ted Williams. In a situation like this, you want a player with a good head on his shoulders, and Ted, well, he used to, at least. With ice in his veins, he singles a walk-off RBI, and Johnny, you've got a Game 5 to call. So much to highlight in this one, from Speaker's 3-homer day, 2 dreadful starting outers from Ruth and Cox, 6 RBIs for Ferris, but the bottom line is, deliberately offensive finally found a way to win. Before I go, I want to wish everybody out there a happy Hogmanay. Thanks for sticking with us in our first month, and here's to some great stuff in 2022, and also some stuff from Johnny Paprika. And speaking of that, take it away, Johnny.
Deliberately Offensive has a game in its pocket now, but their backs are right up against the wall. In the bottom of the first, Babe Ruth gives them some immediate breathing room with a 3-run home run. We know the Union Jacks are going to score, so let's not beat the tree and dive right into it. It comes from an unlikely source. That's Jim McCormick, the Union Jacks pitcher, with a solo shot. It's not as weird as you may think. Back in 1878, you played one position, baseball. In addition to racking up pitching accolades, he also played in the outfield for 52 games and had over 2,000 plate appearances, dealing up a respectable .236 average with 4 home runs. I grew 3 new chest hairs just looking at that picture. Later that inning, Dave Brain ties the game with a double. He's playing out of his head in the playoffs. Out of his head. Dave Brain. And Hobie Ferris, who struck out against Rod Carew in Game 3, still fails to redeem himself but puts the Jacks up 1. Babe Ruth up in the bottom of the third, and he's got it again. This time it's a 2-run shot, offensive backup. 2 batters later, Mel Ott adds a solo shot, and offensive keeps going after that as well. Ted Williams had an RBI single, and so did Cap Anson. Babe Ruth in his second at-bat of the inning took a bases-loaded walk, and this single by Rogers Hornsby capped the inning off by scoring another 2. 13 men come to the plate in the inning, scoring 8 runs. Deliberately Offensive leads 11-4. We're at Coors Field. Get out your PJs. We may be in for a long one. It's the top of the 4th, and happy day, Charlie Gehringer is back in the ballgame. His current streak is up to not retiring 10 batsmen in a row this postseason, so we'll see if the streak continues tonight. It's Tom Brown at the plate, and he walks. That's 11 batters faced without an out. Dave Brain is up next, and he's been hitting everything, but that one looks like a pop-up. Can it be? Yes! Charlie Gehringer has recorded an out. The crowd is losing its mind. They've let a gorilla onto the field for some reason. It's total bedlam. Now that he's recorded an out, we can assign a postseason ERA to him. Let's see where it comes in. Ooh, the dreaded 270. That sobered the crowd up real quick. Still, it's 11-4 offensive. In the top of the 5th, the comeback starts coming back. It's 12-7 offensive here, and Tom Brown rips a double. Harry Smith and Ed Cogswell score to make it 12-9. Dave Brain, fresh off the Gehringer embarrassment, rips another double. It's 12-10. Dick Higham follows with a single, and they're back within 1. The comeback continues in the 6th. Bases are loaded with 2 outs with Chipper Jones pitching for the offensive. Tom Brown says, "Hey, that's not a pitcher. Hey guys, I'm not sure they have a pitching staff. It's 15-12 Union Jacks." They are 4 innings away from advancing to the Doug's championship final. 15-13 now in the bottom of the 6th with 2 men on, and is that ball a rotund gentleman walking towards a banana peel? Because it's a round tripper. Offensive up 16-15. That's Tris Speaker, fresh off a hat trick in Game 4. He puts another one out. 17-16 offensive in the bottom of the 7th, and it's Speaker again. Second straight multi-home run game for him. Tug of war is still going on in the 8th. Union Jacks down 2, but George Hall puts them right back up with a 3-run shot. Much like there's a protocol for disposing of an old flag, there's also a protocol for destroying a now useless scorecard. As per the instructions, I'm setting it on fire and sending it out to sea. Or at least I'm gonna toss it into a puddle in my backyard. So I think it's 21-20 Union Jacks at the moment, and Jimmy Fox says, "Bring the gorilla back!" Jacks are out ahead 22-21. So we go into the top of the 9th, and if offensive can keep them off the scoreboard here, who am I kidding? Frank Robinson pitches it halfway to Boulder, and that'll tie the game. Harry Smith up next, and he doubles. 2 runs score, and it's 24-22 Union Jacks. Jimmy Austin adds a single, and so deliberately offensive is 3 outs away from being eliminated if they can't put up at least 3 in the 9th. Tom Waddle comes in relief, and color me unrelieved. Robin Yount makes it a 1-run ball game. Melott strikes out, and Mickey Mantle flies out, so offensive is down to potentially their final out of the season here. Jimmy Fox on first, Barry Bonds at the plate, and he's got a full count against him. That is a double. We are tied at 25. So we end up going into extras. Lou Gehrig's in to pitch in the top of the 10th. Bases are loaded with 1 out. That's a grounder to Rod Carew at short, and he might have a play at the plate. He does. That's 2 outs. That'll bring up Jimmy Austin, and he pops it up. Gehrig comes up huge, keeping the Union Jacks scoreless in the 10th, and they'll have a golden opportunity to win it in the bottom of the inning. Albert Pujols steps up to the plate. The first 2 men of the inning have walked. We'll be going back to Toronto. Call up John Cleese and the ghost of Michael Jackson. We've got ourselves a walk-off. 53 runs scored in the game. This game lasted 7 hours and 8 minutes. It's the 3rd longest game in Major League history, coming in behind a 1984 contest that took 8 hours and 6 minutes. That's because it lasted 25 innings. We only went 10 tonight. Who do we even begin to highlight here? Babe Ruth, Tris Speaker, Albert Pujols, and Alex Rodriguez all had 2 home run games. Arguably, though, nothing was bigger than Lou Gehrig's pitching tonight. He recorded 4 outs without giving up a run, which allowed the offensive to mercifully put an end to this one in the 10th. The Union Jacks' Tom Brown went 2 for 3 with 4 walks, a home run, 7 RBIs, and 4 runs scored. And so, yes, we will be heading back to Toronto for at least 1 more game, possibly 2. Those contests will be coming your way in the new year on Wednesday, January 5th. Before that, however, we'll return for games 3 through 5 between the Weak Prescriptions and the Big Bones on Monday. The Weak Prescriptions have not lost a game in the tournament as of yet. Will the Big Bones be the first to do it, and can they make this a series? We'll find out in 2022. Happy New Year to everyone watching out there. Feel free to ring it in by helping out the Dugs by throwing us a like and subscribe. As always, for Hamish, I've been Johnny Paprika, hoping all your balls are fair and all your wood is good. Good night, everybody.